So this is my father's little shack that I've been talking about for the past couple little bit. I'm gonna give you a little tour. It is gorgeous. It's made from half of the old shack and half brand new. I'm gonna show you some old picture first. So this is what it's looked like before when it just buy the property and buy the place here, and this is where they were making maple syrup. Everything was kind of old and all this, and now this is what's look like. So this part is the old part. They kept this part here. They found a lot of like old things. This is some snowshoes. I have no idea how old they are, but they look like crazy old. So they used to they find that here in the shack. So you might not be able to see, but in they found this inside the shack, which is when they were making some water, boiling the maple syrup, they were writing on the walls how many gallons they made. So there's like some dates and how many gallons they made and all of this. Pretty cool to look. So my father kept all of this, of course. So I think here 1960, which is the year that they, just the year after they built the shack here, it's built in 1959. They made 68 gallon, and in 61 they made 85 gallon. So this is the kitchen, a little bit more brand new. And this is the new part that my father just renovated. And there's a little place to go sleep upstairs. And I think this was the stairs. It is from a firefighter, old building, whatever. Pretty cool. So, tiny little bed here upstairs. We have a little bathroom here, even with the shower here. And this part is an extension that my father made. They call it the sunroom. Just a cute little place just to hang out. Couple more old tools that they found here. Pretty cool. I think he did an awesome job with this little shack. So now that I did a little tour of the place with you, I think we're gonna go outside, have a little walk, and after that we're gonna go to the actual maple syrup shack and showing you how that work. I think they're just starting right now. I'm not sure how good it's gonna be or bad, but we're gonna go see that later on. And sorry, I completely forgot about my mic on top of my camera, so I hope this is gonna be okay. Inside I'm pretty sure it's gonna be, maybe outside it's gonna hear a little bit of noise. I'm sorry, I didn't bring my camper with me because the road to this little road to go to all the little shack, it's pretty slippery. We had a little bit of snow past couple of days, so I hope it's gonna be okay. But yeah, let's go outside now. I just want to go for a nice little walk. This one's got more. So behind me you can see that some of them have like a blue tube and some are just the bucket. So the big difference between both of them, some have like a tube that go, and with the big machine they have like a small little suction which they bring more water to boil to make the maple syrup. That the bucket, it's more naturally, if you want, the water just drop itself, but it's like way more time consuming because you have to pick up all the buckets and carry that with like a skidoo, or before that I was like with the sleigh with the horse. Now it's like a skidoo, and they have to bring that to the maple syrup maple syrup shack and boil that after. So a lot of these days now they use tube, but the old way it was just with bucket. And so yeah, so all of this go to the maple syrup shack, where I'm gonna show you in a second all that work. Oh, little deer passed by. So yeah, the maple, the tube is just this here. That tap like a bucket if you want, just tap to the trees, and that bring to all those tube, and that go back to the maple syrup shack way down there. So my father doesn't have like all the tree on his property tapped for maple syrup. I think he's got maybe just not even half of it, and maybe half of that is from tube, and the other part almost is from the bucket. And my neighbor, where they're doing all this together, my neighbor I think is more like 100% or close to 100% with just the tube, because it is way easier, and they only do that with like 2 people. And when you do that with the bucket, you need like way more people, and take a lot of time and a lot of effort to bring all that water to make the maple syrup. So we're gonna go walk a little bit more the property of my father, and yeah, like I said, I'm gonna show you the actual maple syrup, how it's made. It's just starting right now, so we're gonna see that later. This is some old, I don't know what they used to do with this. Like inside my father's house, shack I should say, and this shed here has got a lot of like old tools that they found, because half of the shack that you saw is old, just that my father renovate, and it doesn't look old anymore, but they find a lot of like old tools that they kept and they put on the wall, or they just keep here. I don't know if it's just cool looking, like what it was used for. Really awesome. So those are the new bucket we're gonna need. I guess this was a old one. It looked like an old like lunchbox almost, yeah, with the axe on. That's so cool. Oh my god. That's awesome. I wanna open it. Oh, that's awesome. Alright guys, what a beautiful day finally. The sun just started poking. Maple syrup started like, so if you don't know, to make maple syrup you need freezing point during the night below 0. And during the day a little bit close to 5, less than 5 degrees, so between 0 and 5, which is the sweet spot. And when you have sun, usually it's a good time. So yeah, it's dripping, it's good. So I'm gonna explain a little bit what we did today. So my nephew came and we tapped the tree. This is the first step to make maple syrup. So it was a lot of fun, and after that we have to collect that water, so that sap, and we bring this to a little shack just a little bit outside of the main maple syrup shack, and that water stay there until it's ready to boil. So you need a big quantity to make maple syrup, so you need around, my father told me, like 20 gallons of water to make 1 gallon of maple syrup. So they usually make during a good day around like 3 gallons per hour. It takes almost like 1 hour to actually boil the water. So what it is, the water when it comes off the tree is around like, I think it's, if I remember, 1 to 3% sugar. So you need to evaporate the water to concentrate the sugar to make the maple syrup. So that process take a good hour. So there's like a little wood fireplace if you want, and the water that is at that mini little shack bring to the big maple syrup shack with a little suction situation if you want, and that water from there is going to get boiled. They have a little firewood and it need to be a certain temperature, so they need to constantly put more firewood in all of this to evaporate the water. And as much as the water concentrate in sugar, so less water more sugar, it just move further from the front, and at the front is ready to be maple syrup at one point. So there's and ready to bring to a little jar and to send to people nowadays if you want. So it is a big process, as you can probably tell. This is why, you know, like only a certain amount of people doing those things. You need a lot of tree to make maple syrup, and a certain temperature, like I said, to make as well the maple syrup. So it is a lot of fun. We always have a good time during maple syrup time. And by the way, I know I said that my father's got a little maple syrup shack. I know it doesn't look like a shack, okay? I know I'm gonna hear those comments. We used to call it the shack because at the beginning it was really looking like an old shack, you know, like a proper maple syrup shack in the wood. It was one of those things, you open the door, you're like, oh, this is gonna fall apart on me, you know. It was a little sketchy, so we called it the maple syrup shack since day one, since my father bought this property a couple years ago. And obviously he made this beautiful cabin, chalet, almost house now. It is gorgeous. I think they kind of plan a little bit when they're gonna retire. My father retired, but when they're gonna get older, maybe not be able to take care of the house, that maybe they're gonna stay over there or spend more time at least. But everything is there, like I say, a shower, they have water and everything. But yeah, so I know it's not a shack actually, it's more like a house. Even is gorgeous. My father did an amazing job. So I hope you enjoyed this little day in the wood in the maple syrup shack with me. I hope you learn a couple little things. I mean, I try to resume it and not going too much detail, but just give you a better understanding of how the maple syrup is made. So I hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next video. And I'm gonna try to film a couple little Kelly shot, but I think she's just sleeping at my parents' house still. Alright guys, see you in the next one.